Class 11th, Subject Physics, 9th chapter Optics. From this chapter, let us see the relations between angles in wall and prism formula. In order to obtain these relations between different angles and the prism formula, let us consider the principal section of the prism ABC having its absolute refractive index n and placed in air. Therefore, this prism will act as denser medium and this air medium will act as rarer medium. Then the surfaces AB and AC of the prism are the refracting surfaces and BC is the base of the prism. Angle A is called as refracting angle of the prism or simply angle of prism. Now consider a ray of light PQ which is obliquely incident on the first refracting surface AB. As this ray of light is meeting to this surface AB at point Q, MQN will represent normal to this surface, and therefore the angle between incident ray and normal is the angle of incidence I. Now this ray of light is first traveling through rarer medium, then it will enter into denser medium, therefore it will bend towards normal, and therefore this ray of light after refraction will travel along QR, that is QR is the refracted ray. When it reaches to second refracting surface AC at point R, now it will emerge out of the prism, and therefore again M dash Rn is the normal to the second surface AC, and therefore now this ray of light is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium, therefore it will bend away from the normal and will travel along RS. So RS is the emergent ray. So PQ is incident ray, QR is refracted ray, and RS is the emergent ray. This angle is between the normal and the refracted ray, therefore first angle of refraction is R1 here. Similarly, here angle between refracted ray and normal is there, therefore this is second angle of refraction R2. Now this angle is between the normal to the surface and the emergent ray, therefore it is angle of emergence E. Now if we extend this incident ray in the same direction and this emergent ray in the backward direction, both these will meet at point X, and therefore the angle between them is delta, that is angle of deviation. Now if you consider the geometry of this figure, then quadrilateral AQNR is there. So from this quadrilateral AQNR, A and this N, these two angles are opposite, and therefore sum of their measures will be equal to 180 degree. Similarly, if you consider triangle QNR, then it is having three angles R1, R2 and QNR. Again, sum of the measures will be equal to 180 degree. Similarly, if you consider triangle XQR, for this triangle XQR, angle delta is the exterior angle. Now if you consider this geometry figure, again we can say that the measure of XQR will be how much. So this angle is I, so that this total angle will be equal to I. Out of this is R1, therefore it will be I minus R1. Similarly, XRQ, this angle we have to find out. This angle is E, therefore this total angle is equal to E, opposite angle. Out of this it is R2, therefore this angle will be E minus R2. And therefore from this figure we can consider first of all this quadrilateral AQNR. If you consider this quadrilateral AQNR, then from this quadrilateral measure of A plus measure of QNR will be equal to 180 degree, and therefore we can write from quadrilateral AQNR A plus angle QNR equal to 180 degree, equation 1. Similarly, if you consider this triangle QNR, then R1 plus R2 plus QNR must be equal to 180, and therefore from triangle QNR we can write R1 plus R2 plus QNR equal to 180 degree. Now comparing these two equations 1 and 2, we have to compare these two equations. Here it is QNR, here it is QNR, both are same. Here it is 180 degree, 180 degree, and therefore if A plus QNR equal to 180 degree and R1 plus R2 plus QNR equal to 180 degree, therefore we can say that A must be equal to R1 plus R2, and therefore comparing these two equations we can write A is equal to R1 plus R2 as equation number 3. Now again, if you consider this triangle XQR, delta is the exterior angle for that triangle, and therefore by using the property of exterior angle of a triangle, that is the measure of exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles, and therefore this delta will be equal to angle XQR plus angle XRQ, but this XQR is equal to I minus R1 and this XRQ is equal to E minus R2. Therefore we can write as angle delta is exterior angle for triangle XQR, therefore angle XQR plus angle XRQ equal to delta. But this is having its value I minus R1, it is E minus R2, and therefore I minus R1 plus E minus R2 equal to delta. Now simplifying this, we can write I plus E. So it is I plus E, minus will be taken common, minus into R1 plus R2 equal to delta. But this R1 plus R2 is equal to A, and therefore we can write I plus E minus A equal to delta, or I plus E equal to A will be shifted to RHS, so A plus delta. So I plus E equal to A plus delta, equation number 4. From this relation, A is constant, that is it will be fixed for a given prism, and therefore the variables are I, E and delta. So this equation 4 will give us the relation between angle of incidence, angle of emergence, angle of prism and angle of deviation. But from this equation it is clear that the values of E and delta, angle of emergence and angle of deviation, will depend upon angle of incidence I. So for all the prisms this type of relation will be obeyed, that is I plus E equal to A plus delta. Now if you consider angle of incidence I and angle of deviation delta, and if you plot the graph of angle of deviation against angle of incidence, angle of deviation against angle of incidence, then the nature of the graph is as shown. It is a curve, but this is not the symmetric parabola. Now from this it is clear that for smaller values of angle of incidence, the angle of deviation is large, and initially as angle of incidence goes on increasing, the angle of deviation goes on decreasing. At a particular angle of incidence, the angle of deviation will become minimum, it will reach to its minimum value, and for further increase in the angle of incidence, the angle of deviation goes on increasing. But this curve is not symmetric, it is not the symmetric parabola. Now from this graph it is clear that at a particular angle of incidence I, which is equal to angle of emergence E, at that time only the delta will be having its minimum value delta M, and it will be having its only one value of angle of incidence. So for delta M there will be only one value of angle of incidence, but for all other values of delta. If for simplicity, if you consider this value of delta, then for this value of delta there are two values of angle of incidence and angle of emergence, that is I or E. Here E or I, that means for this angle of deviation delta, if this is I, then it will be E, or if it is E, then it will be I. So like this, except this value for delta M, for all other values of angle of deviation, there will be two values of angle of incidence or angle of emergence. If one of them is I, other will be definitely E. So like this, except for delta minimum, all the angle of deviations will be having two different values of angle of incidence and angle of deviation, that is angle of emergence. And therefore now when delta is equal to delta M, when angle of deviation is equal to minimum angle of deviation, at that time I is equal to E, and at the same time R1 will be equal to R2, let it be suppose R. So here from this figure, if it is incident ray, it is refracted ray, and it is emergent ray, if we use the principle of reversibility of light, then this ray will be considered as incident ray, again it will be as refracted ray, and this will be the emergent ray. Now when this ray is incident ray, at that time this angle is R1, this angle is R2. Instead of that, if we reverse this, that means if RS is made incident ray, then refracted ray will be again same, that is QR, and at that time this will become R1, this will become R2, that is we can say that at delta is equal to delta M, I will be equal to E, and R1 is equal to R2, let it be equal to R. And therefore we can write A is equal to R1 plus R2 equal to R plus R, that is equal to 2R, or angle of refraction R will be equal to A upon 2. Now putting these values, above values, in equation number 4. In equation 4 we can put all these values, and then by putting these values in equation 4 we can write I plus I, because I is equal to E, and therefore in this case we can write I plus I equal to A plus delta M, because delta is equal to delta M, and therefore I plus I is equal to A plus delta M, and therefore 2I will be equal to A plus delta M, or I is equal to A plus delta M by 2. So here we have got the values of angle of incidence as well as angle of refraction, that is I is equal to A plus delta M by 2 and R is equal to A by 2. As we have considered here refraction, we can use Snell's law. So by using Snell's law, that is N is equal to sin I upon sin R. N is equal to sin I upon sin R, where N will be the absolute refractive index of the material of that prism. Therefore that N will be given as sin I. I is A plus delta upon 2, and therefore sin of A plus delta M upon 2 divided by sin R. R is nothing but A upon 2, and therefore sin of A by 2 we will get. So it has equation number 5. So N is equal to sin of A plus delta M upon 2 divided by sin of A by 2, and this is the prism formula which gives the value of the refractive index of material of that prism, that is N is equal to sin of A plus delta M upon 2 divided by sin of A by 2. So this is the prism formula. And now let us see the next term, what is a thin prism. So if you consider the thin prism, so when we can say that the prism is a thin prism, so the prisms having refracting angles less than 10 degree are called as thin prisms. So a prism is said to be a thin prism if the refracting angle, that is A, of the prism is less than 10 degree. That is angle of refraction or refracting angle of the prism or angle of prism will be very, very small. For such prisms, we can use one approximation, because if angle theta is very small, we take sin theta is equal to theta, and therefore for such thin prisms, to deviate the incident ray towards the base during both refractions, the angle of incidence I should be less than 10 degree. The angle of incidence must be also less than 10 degree, so that all other angles will be also small. So in case of thin prism, the angle of incidence must be again less than 10 degree, so that all other angles will be also small. And therefore now by using again here Snell's law, we can write n is equal to sin I upon sin R1, that is equal to I upon R1. So, and n is equal to sin E upon sin R2 equal to E upon R2. So, as there are two refractions here, for this first refraction, the refractive index of material of prism n will be equal to sin I upon sin R1. And for this second refraction, again refractive index of the material of prism n will be equal to, this will be now sin E upon sin R2, because when we consider reversibility principle of light, at that time this will become incident ray, and therefore this angle will act as angle of incidence, and therefore n is equal to sin I upon sin R1 and n is equal to sin E upon R2. But sin I and sin E will be considered as I and E only, and therefore we will get n is equal to I upon R1 and n is equal to E upon R2, because these angles are very, very small, and therefore I is equal to nR1 and E is equal to nR2 we will get from these equations. And therefore I plus E, if we add these two equations, then I plus E will be equal to nR1 plus nR2. Taking n common, n into R1 plus R2, we will get n into R1 plus R2, that is, as I plus E is equal to nR1 plus nR2, that will be equal to n into R1 plus R2. And that will be equal to, as R1 plus R2 is A, therefore n into A. So the value of I plus E is equal to Na, and therefore if we put these values in the fourth relation, that is, we have the equation I plus E equal to A plus delta as per equation number 4, and therefore value of I plus E is equal to Na, and therefore Na is equal to A plus delta. Therefore shift this towards left side, and therefore it will become minus, therefore delta will be equal to Na minus A. Na minus A, then A will be taken common, and therefore delta is equal to A into n minus 1. So this is the angle of deviation for a thin prism. So deviation due to a thin prism will be given by the formula angle of deviation delta equal to A into n minus 1. So this deviation will depend upon the refractive index of the material of prism. So delta is equal to A into n minus 1.